Hello everyone, it's Gabriel with Stealth Products. I'm excited about today's video. I'm going to be reviewing iDrive 4 software on an iPad. So some of the screens, some of the configurations that you would be seeing on our app version of our software for programming the iDrive. So really excited. We've got a lot of good things that are happening right now with iDrive. I'm looking forward to sharing a few of them with you today. So why don't we go to begin? This is the actual iDrive that I'm going to be using, connecting to. Again, you guys have seen some previous videos where I do not need a power wheelchair to do programming with the iDrive. Literally, we offer power banks, battery powered type of systems that will allow your head array to be, or any kind of driver control to be on or active in a manual chair situation, or even bedside type of situation. So whatever type of assessment or evaluation you're needing to do, you're able to do it with iDrive. Which is going to be really important with another video that we're going to be also shooting, which is going to be of a new training game that we are offering. So what we're going to be doing is doing a screen capture, which is going to be showing our what we're actually programming on screen. So hopefully it will make sense to you, and if there's any questions, please feel free to reach out to me here at Stealth. Again, I'm looking forward to the video, and hopefully it's informative for you, and leave comments if you would like for us to review more stuff or go over things. That'd be great, and thank you for subscribing also to our channel. We look forward to bringing you more technical videos and more informative videos. So I hope you enjoy this video, and hopefully we cover all the basis of iDrive for you in this. Thanks. So the first thing we see here is the app itself, and it's the iDrive mobile app, which is the one in the middle here. We're going to eventually be talking about the other two apps, but currently right now this is our programming app. It's downloadable, and right now we're showing it on iOS, which is iPads, iPhones, but you can get it on the Google Play Store for Android. And you also can get a download from our website for PCs if you are using a Bluetooth version type Windows 10 type of PC or tablet, Surface or any other kind of tablet. So, but right now we're going to be discussing it on the iPad itself. This is an iPad Pro that I'm using, so the screen, I'm not sure what the perspective of the screen will be, but the ratio, but we will try it here. So first thing we do is we click on the app, and we have some different things here that we're seeing here. We see connect, log in, and about. You will not be able to connect to a unit until you log in. Right now I am logged in. All you have to do is register one time, and it'll keep it if you don't change anything on your app, iPad, or do any kind of major updates to the software. It will keep all your login information. You can call in to request a login. It'll be an email and a password that we'll issue you. But right here, it just goes through the process of logging in. Once I have everything, you can see here I'm validated on the software itself, and so now I can access things. And now I can, click on the connect button, and you can see here that it's located the iDrive that I have here that I'm using, that I showed on the video. Once I click on this, it's going to ask me to pair it. I need to enter the serial number. Where is the serial number? It is on the interface, and we will provide always a serial number on there. So I'm going to go ahead on this serial number, go ahead and type in what it is, but of course we've got thousands of these, so and we're going to go ahead and just pair it. And now what it's doing is communicating with it. So I do need power to the device, which again I said you could do it with a power wheelchair, or you could do it with our battery pack adapter. Once I have it powered up, now it's recognized and located the iDrive itself, and you can see here that I'm connected to it. And we have still the connect and log out, so I can log out when I'm ready to. But we have some things that we're going to go over. The first thing I would like to start on is on the about. The about will tell you always what the software version is of the iDrive that you're working with. but it's also going to give you some software version that you're working with on the app also, and some legal information. So the software version that we're looking at here is the software version of the app that we're working with. And we go to device information, it'll now tell you the firmware version of the iDrive itself, which this is 4.003. And it tells you also when the software was programmed into this iDrive, which was February 3rd, 2017. It also will tell you the amount of time that you have clocked in on this iDrive, which on this one right here is a brand new one, so we have 0 hours. But it will also confirm the serial number that you typed in, which you wouldn't have been able to have gotten into the iDrive without the serial number being correct. But you can see that the serial number is here. If something happens and you end up losing the serial number, there's a different way of doing it also, which we'll be able to show you in a later version. On the PC version, you actually have to plug it in hardwired. But if we come back over here, of course, we got legal documents that tell you everything with iDrive, and it's important to read these things and to kind of understand, what you're getting involved with the programming. So, programming too, we only issue passwords to qualified and trained technicians, and if you're an ACP or you're a technician for a dealership, this is who we're issuing these to. So we do offer courses and classes to be able to go over what products that we offer and how they function and everything. So we're going to start off here under the configuration mode. Configuration mode is a place where I can name the iDrive. We can actually come in here and name it. And give it a different name if we'd like to. We can also do some programming here. So you see in this configuration mode, once I've clicked on it, I can rename it if I wanted to, but currently the name is every name of each iDrive is going to be the same. But you can actually come in here and just by clicking here be able to change it and type what you want. And if you want to give it a special name or a number sequence, you can do that. I think that's important in settings that there's going to be multiple iDrives in a building, because you'll see 5 iDrives potentially on your first screen when you're trying to connect to it. So if you do have a tendency of being in an area where there's going to be multiple iDrives, you might want to give it a name. You might want to give it a sequence, an identifier that you can use within paperwork that you have. But right here, just for the simplicity of this video, we're going to keep it as iDrive. We're going to see here on the next line here that channels, and we're going to get into that. This is where you actually will do programming on the ports that are on the iDrive. Here's also where you could do some programming for the multi-tap, which is the mode switch function on our iDrive, and how long it takes to send a signal out. So if you have some delayed signals that you want to send out, if somebody needs it, different types of diagnosis require to speed up a switch or to slow it down. If it's a multi type of function that you need to get into a different menu on programming on different chairs. We also have a setting now. This is something new on the iDrive, which is our mouse setting, because the iDrives do come with the ability to have mouse control, which we'll take a quick look at that. You also can do some, this is some of the utility stuff on it. You can reboot the device here. So if you were having some problems with the iDrive and you just want to clear it with power, the reboot, what it does is stops power to the device and allows the device to reboot itself, and just kind of like you would do restart on your PC. It's the same thing. One of my favorite ones and features that we have on the iDrive is I'm the type of person that I want to make sure that I feel comfortable in what I'm working with, and that I can always get it to a factory state, and our factory reset allows us to do that. Our factory reset allows us to, when we hit it, it brings all the settings back to how you received it from us. So this is good. This is good, but it also could be different if you've unplugged ports or programmed ports differently. So you might hit this factory reset and think it's to the way you set it up, but it's not. It's actually to the way it comes from the factory, where all the ports will be similar to the manual, where a port 6 might be a left, a port 1 might be a right, and so on. So the factory reset is very effective, because if you do have something and you think that you've programmed sensor sensitivities, or you've done some stuff on the multi-tap that it just seems odd, something seems like it's not functioning right, if you hit that factory reset, it'll bring it back to just like reinstalling a software into your PC, or starting fresh on a PC by formatting the disk. Pretty much what you're doing is formatting the disk to how it came from Stealth, from the factory. And then of course we have Calibrate Chair, which we'll talk about, and some of the reasons why we put that in there. So, but what we're going to start off with right now is the channels. Here on channels, you can see that all the channels will pop up here, and channel 1 right now is right, as mentioned before. Channel 2 is reverse, but as you can see right there, it says disconnected. This is a new feature that we're offering now on iDrive 4, which allows you to see what's plugged into ports, or if something's plugged into a port. So you can see right here that it's programmed for reverse, but nothing's actually plugged into this port. So that's something important to recognize and to understand. So, but channel 3 is also not programmed for anything, but it does have something programmed into it. I mean, plugged into it. Sorry. And channel 4 is not it's programmed for mode, and it does have the mode switch plugged into it. Channel 5 is plugged in, and it's for the forward command. And channel 6 is for the left command. So you can see all these channels here and just highlighted. But if I click on one of them, which we're going to click on the channel 1, which is right, it'll show the check mark where the function is the direction is programmed into. But you can see here that there's other things that I could change. Other features that I could change into it. So we're just going to go through some of them. So one of the things that I can do is I could turn it off here too. If I don't want somebody to have access to it, and I'm just working with them on a couple of directions, I can come in here and turn off some of the directions. A lot of the times what will happen is somebody will unplug something. They'll tell you, unplug it. It's all you got to do is unplug it on our system, or this is the way you would disable it. But by being able to turn off that channel, what you're doing is you're eliminating somebody by chance, and we don't always have control of our environments. Going back in there and seeing, 2 loose cables or a loose cable there, and getting tempted to connect them. And now you've put your child or your spouse back into the chair, thinking that everything's safe, but something got connected back in, and now they take off in a direction that they weren't ready for. So we really eliminated that, and it's just a safety precaution that I like. Of course, you can unplug stuff, you can do that, but if you want to take another level and just say, I do want to turn it off completely until I give access to it, here's where you would do it. You would just come up here to the very first channel assignment and select none. But you can see here there's other directions that you can select, which are already selected in our iDrive. One of them is the forward, reverse, left, right mode. And then we get into some of our other features that are unique to iDrive, which is proportional features, because we can actually program some of the proportional settings here. You have proportional left, right, proportional forward, reverse, sip and puff, which is a new feature that we offer. And then we also offer a new feature, the safety switch on iDrive 4, which allows you to pretty much turn off the signal going from the driver control, the interface, to the chair. So when the safety switch is activated, it stops the signal from going to the chair. What's nice about that, instead of using, at times we'll plug in a switch to the reset or the mode port and use it as a stop switch. This one right here effectively just stops the signal from our device to the chair. So now you're not worried about getting into a different function. you might have created a stop of the chair, but now you might be in your seating functions, or you might have stopped the chair, but now you're into a speed, a different type of speed function. And just depending on how you're programming your chair itself, and if it's not programmed as a as the stop switch, you could also just change your speeds instead of stopping the chair, or turn off the chair automatically, which isn't good for the motors. So again, this safety switch function is a really nice function. It's actually a multi-use function because the safety switch also can be used with a sip and puff driver, and you're able to put a fiber optic near the straw of a sip and puff. And when the person activates the stop switch, meaning that the straw is pulled away from them, a signal will be sent to the chair to stop the chair, because they could be running in latch mode, and even though they have their seconds in latch mode set, there are some sip and puff users that don't use the time stop on the latch mode. So again, there's just different features, different things that you could use the safety switch with. We also have a different a function here that's not enabled, but hopefully we'll show you in the future that we are looking into tongue touch type of driving. So we're not going to spend too much time on that because it's still under development. Here is also if you have selected something that has the ability to adjust. Here we have the sensor sensitivity where you can make some adjustments, which is great. This dial right here can be, it's usually set right here about 3/4 of the way. And what this allows you to do is to set the distance or the sensitivity of the actual sensor itself. So this is really important. If you have somebody that's sweating a lot, you might not want to make it so sensitive. So you might want to be here in this range, or if you do have somebody that needs the sensor to be a little further away from them, or if you also have positioning that you're wanting to achieve with the head support, and you don't want it to be activated, you might go from a distance that's very sensitive to something to where they almost have to touch the pad, not press the pad, but touch it. That way when they want to relax, the pads are close to them so they could get proper type of positioning. So these are the channel assignments. They're all the same in all 6 of these. Once you've done something, or change something, you come over here and you see that there on the top right corner there's a save button, which we're just going to hit it just so we can see what it says. And of course it'll say it's saving the device to the history here on the actual interface. So now we're going to come over here to the main menu, and we're in the configuration mode. Now we just want to see how Diagnostic View looks like, and this is the Diagnostic View. Anytime I'm touching any of the pads here, I can verify that the function is happening here. So, and it also gives you some information here. It also has the mode switch here that I'm activating, and it also gives you some voltage. Now this is the voltage that's coming to the device. So this is what is actually coming through the display or the skim module of a chair. This will give you some information if the chair's turned on, or if there's a problem with your connection. I've had there's been times that I've gotten in here and I've lost power, and we won't do it in this just because we're actually doing a screen capture right now, but the voltage would go down to 0. Of course, if there's some loss of power there or something going on. So it's just a good little technical, some technical information that could be useful. So again, going back to configuration mode, we talked about the channels. The multi-tap is here where you can actually turn it on, and here's where you can set some of the delays and speeds here. So it's very simple to kind of get in here and to play with if you need to set your mode switch to function differently. If somebody needs a delay in it, but it'll actually send the signal out as the chair needs to receive it, then this is a good place to kind of start with. Of course, chairs have that feature too, that you can go into programming and do it, but we wanted to give you an additional function here that you could get into and play with in case in case you were having difficulties with the function that comes on the chair. And of course, like I mentioned before, here is the mouse. control programming. Here you can actually decide what function you want to be up down. So right here we've selected forward to be up down. We've selected of course left, which is channel 1 to be click. I'm sorry, left to be left and right, and the click button to be channel 4, which wasn't programmed for anything, but you can come in here and we can actually, make that left here like this to be click, and then of course left and right to be the right command. So in this configuration right here, channel 2, we can change that to forward. So now how I have it is forward does up down because it's a toggling system, and channel 1, which is the right, would do left and right, and my left command would do my click and drag and anything that I need to. So we do offer mouse emulation on it. It's a unique feature on. We will have a video kind of showing it a little bit more, but this is where you would do some of the programming. And of course, if I save it, I save it here. If I don't, and I get out of it, when I come back into it, everything's back to how it's going to be. So again, the factory reset, the reboot, we went over that a little bit. Those are really nice technical features that you could have with it. But we also have something here that says calibrate chair. Of course, we have a warning on here that the chair will be receiving signals, so you want to make sure you disengage motors and stuff like this, because what we're going to do here is we're going to process the interface. We're going to actually calibrate the interface to the chair, and this is an important feature, and only a feature that you have to do the very first time that you're putting an iDrive onto a chair. So again, this isn't a feature that you have to repeat. Once you get used to doing it, it's pretty seamless. But right here, you would actually get into the calibration functions of the chair. So each chair has a form of it. In our manual, we go over the settings. You go into the menu to do it. But right here is where you would start that process, and then I'll actually tell you to get into the calibration of the chair and to hit begin, and then you actually would hit OK on this, and it would start the process of giving you forward, right, reverse, left, almost doing a circle. What it's doing, it's calibrating the interface to the chair, which again allows it to have more accurate type of driving. We are programming our interface as a proportional function, and there's a reason for it. We have a lot of proportional devices that we're coming out with. Of course, we have our joysticks that plug in that are proportional, but we have a sip and puff that's coming out that's proportional, and we have other devices that are coming out in the future that are going to be proportional. And so it was just easier for us to keep one function, input type of function, and proportional was the more accurate type of reading that we wanted to. So this is where you would be able to do the calibration of the chair, and again, we have a step-by-step process of this in the manual. And here it goes, just doing the moving in 2 circles. And I'm sorry, it goes actually forward to left and then to reverse. So again, this is the calibration process, which we will get out of. Once it's done, it actually gets you out and says that everything's been calibrated properly. So here again in configuration mode is where you're going to name the iDrive, go into channels for programming, be able to program your multi-tap, which is for your mode switch, also do programming for the mouse, reboot the device, do a factory reset, and calibrate the chair. Again, if I come here, I have my connect, which I'm connected to an iDrive. It says here's where I can log out if I needed to. I usually never do log out. Here's also where I got into the configuration mode and the diagnostic and the about. And again, you can rewatch these and see what some of these menus were. So I hope this video has helped you, and I look forward to the next video that we're going to be showing, which is going to be on the training game. And I hope this was informative for you, and look forward to creating more videos in the future. Thanks again for watching.